Hey guys, welcome to God Family Community Podcast. I wanted to speak on a couple of topics today. One being Corey Holcomb, Kelly Rowland, and the mother of Nick's children, Abby De La Rosa, as well as update on the Kai Cenat situation. Um, so first off, I wanted to speak on there was a situation earlier this year, last year, regarding an altercation between Corey Holcomb and a woman where she claimed he put his hands on her. He said he didn't, and just recently a video surfaced showing he in fact put his hands on her. Corey Holcomb has since come out and said that he is uh, losing gigs because of the people who have released the footage to the public. And I noticed that this was a concern for me because this pointed out that he doesn't have any type of accountability. The fact that he knew he did what he did and then said that he didn't do it speaks volumes regarding this individual. And it further demonstrates his issue with women. Um, if I'm not mistaken, this is the same guy through his comedy specials has been talking very negatively about his daughter, as well as throughout the years. You know, he's done this throughout the years. Um, Spoke very, very negatively about his daughter. If I'm not mistaken, there was a situation where I guess he put her out there. He said something about her, and it was just a very vulnerable situation. And there was a concern in regards to her safety because of the joke that he made about his daughter. So it appears that this gentleman has some issues, a lot of issues in relation to women. And now a video surfaces of him putting his hands on a woman, despite him denying it. So not only does he lack accountability, but he lies. This is also demonstrated that he has an issue with lying and abusing women. And my question has been based on these incidences with him, who is supporting this guy? Who is supporting him financially? Who is providing him the spaces um, to do what he's doing um, and supporting this behavior? And so this has been a reoccurring theme of what I've been talking about in my podcast on separating the wheat from the tares, and the fact that we have to start removing ourselves from individuals who display this type of toxic, destructive behavior in our community. I think oftentimes there's this delineation movement going on now where African Americans are trying to are actually separating themselves, or actually not rather separating, but coming up with a identification mechanism to um, say that, hey, we are the foundation of Black Americans. Um, you have Black people who are in the Caribbean. They're from a particular region and they have different customs and values and things of that nature. Then you have Black people who are from Africa and from Europe and so forth. And it's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just identifying, your customs and values specific to the region that you're in. That said, since there appears to be a delineation geographically, um, I think there needs to be a delineation ethically and morally within the African American foundational Black American community here in America. And that will involve separating the wheat from the tares. Like I said, getting these individuals out of our community who display this toxic, destructive, violent behavior. And I think that the only way moving forward, this is what we're going to have to do, because it is really affecting our community, our progress, our mental health, our health in general. Um, a lot of our people are plagued with diseases and things of that nature, and a lot of this is because of the stress that we're under. Um, all the crimes and destructive behavior we're subjected to, whereas it causes a lot of health issues with us. So I think moving forward, we have to find a way to start separating ourselves from these individuals that are it's causing a lot of harm. And this Corey Holcomb individual, I think he needs a lot of help. Um, but unfortunately, this is an individual that will have to be separated, just based on a lot of the concerning behavior he has, especially as it relates to women, um, and the fibbing and the abuse. So that's that on that topic. So there was an update regarding him putting his hands on a woman, and that's the update. A video did surface of him actually putting his hands on a woman, despite him denying it, last year. My next topic is Kelly Rowland, and Kelly just did an interview, and they asked her what is the biggest misconception people have about her. And I'm paraphrasing. She said, I'm just nice and I don't bite back. I don't play with one. I'm sorry. I don't play with me or my family. And to give her some grace, because sometimes we say things in the spur of the moment, like when we're put on the spot. And that it's not really what we want to come out and reveal just yet. But I would have preferred her not to say this. All because I think, number one, people like to play on and play around with the idea of Kelly and other members of Destiny Child, um, as being second or subservient to Beyonce. But they were not. Um, People like to poke at that. And I've always had an issue with that, because all three women in their own right were different and came together to form a group and were very supportive of one another. So I just throughout the years never really liked the division that people like to do when it came to Destiny Child, and pitting the members against one another, especially Michelle and Kelly Rowland and Beyonce. I don't like when people try to pit them against one another. But yeah, but I think, like I said, people like to play on and play around with that. All the members, they were just as important as Beyonce, and they had like a sisterhood and a supportive sisterhood. So I just didn't like when people play on, Kelly's feelings like this and attempt to stir up drama. Number two, we already know that Kelly Rowland is that girl. Like, she is drop dead gorgeous. She's supportive of her other group members, and she's a legend. So she shouldn't have have said this, because people will know who you are through your actions. And by her saying this, it possibly put her in a position to be continuously provoked on the notion of what she said. So please, Kelly, don't say this again. Continue carrying yourself the way you have been without having to prove it verbally. On the flip side of things regarding Kelly Rowland, there are some other things I have been critical, um, on her about. Like, I think it's her constant loathing and taking up for Chris Brown, who has a track record of not only harming women but saying egregious and disrespectful comments, um, about the very women who look like her. So that's been my concern with her, always, taking up for him. And granted, she has a right to do that, right? But I've never ever seen Chris Brown say anything about Kelly Rowland or anything positive about women who look like her in the public. It's all been about abuse and negativity. So this has always been a concern to me with her. And basically, just trying to see where her mind is and where her pathology is regarding black women in general. So that's, aside from her being supportive to her other group members, um, and considering how she's always uplifted and supported a guy who has continuously been abusive to women, and again said a lot of egregious and disrespectful things about women who look like her in public. This has always made me wonder where her pathology is towards other women in regards to a man being in a picture. So I say, whenever a man is in a picture, a woman will always show you who she is. Um, yeah, she could probably be a girls around other women, but let a guy and let a man come into that picture, and you'll really see what type of woman she is. So, and that's just in general. So I would just say this disrespect from the men in the community that look like us, it has to stop. Um, when you have women like this supporting it and uplifting men like this who partake in it, it's not a good look, and it's not healthy for us. Um, it's not healthy for us. I'll just leave it at that. So on the next topic, Abby De La Rosa, one of the mothers of Nick's children. I think she's the one that had twins, and then a girl. So she has three children for him, if I'm not mistaken, two or three. On a recent interview where she shared insight on their family dynamic, while the public appeared to be ripping her to shreds, and I get what she was saying. I get her, and I definitely would like to lend my support to her. When Abby had her children on Nick, she was displaying them all over social media. You could just tell she was really happy and things of that nature. Just by her demeanor, I could tell she was happy and supported, kind of like this sister wives dynamic, where she didn't mind sharing a man and being supportive of his other children and their mothers. So this interview confirmed just the interview she did just confirmed the type of person I kind of figured she was. Abby said in the interview, which is the line that people are taking and running with, she said, "This is a beautiful family dynamic." And again, I get where she was coming from when she said this. Um, I knew that she was really making it about the kids and being a family and being a part of a family, which is how it's supposed to be. Um, and you could tell this is how she views it, and it's also something that I noticed again, and something that I'm in support of as well. Yeah, so she was pretty much just making it about the kids, and she's looking at her family like, this is a beautiful dynamic because we have all the kids, we're here to support them, and things of that nature. The sad thing is that the other woman, you could tell they don't see it as that, and you could tell she's disappointed in that as well, and she has every right to be. Um, it appears that they just kind of only wanted Nick for themselves, but I'm thinking, well, if he had this woman in this shop before you, and then another one, and then here you come, what makes you think it's gonna be any different? What did you think that you signed up for? So I think that's where the confusion is on my end. So I thought that they were down with the sister wives things, like Abby De La Rosa. I thought they were down with the sister wives situation and supporting the kids and just one being one big family, but I guess they didn't see it that way. So yeah, so I just want to lend my support to Abby De La Rosa and just tell her I definitely understood where she was coming from, or where she is coming from, and just hope she keeps up the positive vibes and just be there for the children and be supportive of the dynamic. So, and last but not least, I did want to provide a update on Kai Cenat. Um, in my previous podcast, episode, I mentioned that him and his girlfriend had broken up. It was just a lot of rumors about her cheating and lies about her cheating, and then his friends coming online saying how he glad he's not with her and things of that nature. And just recently, if I'm not mistaken, either he posted or he did an interview, and Kaizen that just mentioned that, if I'm not mistaken, all of those rumors were false, concerning his girlfriend, his ex-girlfriend. And I kind of figured, what was taking place with that. And like I said in the previous podcast, his friend just basically, when he came out, Kaizenet's friends, just confirmed the jealousy they had for him and his relationship. And what I wanted to do, I didn't want to keep this particular topic long-winded, but what I did wanted to do is provide an update on this and let Kai Cenat know that based on this, there are a lot of people you're going to have to get rid of on your team. A lot of them. So this was kind of a blessing in disguise, because you're going to have to look at the people who made up these rumors, and you're going to have to look at the people who came online, which is your evidence saying that they didn't want you with the girl that you were with. Because anytime someone doesn't want the best from you and they're jealous and they're making up rumors, that's a very dangerous person. And you have all the evidence there that shows you that they didn't want you with that girl, because they physically came out and said it out their mouth. So if you don't take that as a warning sign, uh, to get those individuals off your team, it's only going to get worse for you. So just look at the situations that recently took place as a warning and as a red flag, because sometimes some of us don't get um, the signs like this, like what you have. And you got the physical signs with individuals coming out on video telling you that you need to break up with your girlfriend, and that they glad that she's gone and that they didn't want you with her. Take that as a sign and as a blessing and get rid of all of those folks. Because like I said, anybody that doesn't want the best for you, anybody that is jealous of you, a jealous person is a very, very dangerous person, because they will connive, lie, and do all other. Jealousy manifests itself in so many other ways, and it's very dangerous. So my advice to him is to get rid of all of those folks and get get around people who want the best for you. So sometimes in order to go to the next level, you got to get rid of the people that showed you who they were. So take that as it resonates, and hopefully you'll take this advice, um, and make the necessary changes so that you can advance to the next level. This is God Family Community Podcast. I will see you all on the next one.